Hello, this is Philip and welcome to my channel for this new episode about Kontrol System 2. I'm trying to understand how that scripting system works and how to do some automatic mission. So far I succeeded to launch a rocket, and today I want to do a gravity turn with that rocket because I want to send that rocket in orbit, and also I want to activate the stage automatically. So this is a lot of work for today. So let's go back to the launch pad. In the last episode I wrote a countdown function. The function is right here, and I want to show you that you can separate your function from your main script. So here in my folder I can create a subfolder. For example, I like to call it lib, like a library. So this is my library, and for example I want to create a pre-launch script. Okay, and in that script I can here take my function countdown and write it here. But that function, I want that function to be read in another script. So for that I have to put the keyword pub for public, so that function is now public, so I can use it here. I just have to write here, use countdown from not KSP game but from lib and pre-launch. Okay. And that is, you don't have to write all your function here. You can organize your functions in different folders. Right, so now I have to wait until my velocity, which is a number. For that, I can use the wait until. This is like the wait until of KOS, so but be careful, here's an underscore here. This is a function from KSP game, so right away, before I forget, I have to write wait until. And if you look at the documentation, here I can write wait until, because I don't remember where that function is. Okay, of course it was in KSP game. I'm so silly. So wait until is, you see, it's a function, and you need inside that function you need to write a predicate, and this is a function that returns a boolean. Okay, so true or false. You can also use the wait while. Okay, I'm used to wait until, so I'm gonna use wait until, but you have also the wait while. And the yield is I think it's the same that sleep 0.02. If I use the KOS, how to say that, in KOS you have what it is called physics tick, and I think this is the same. Yield execution to allow Unity to do some other stuff in between. So that means I think you don't run multiple tasks inside the same physics tick. I don't know if physics ticks that makes sense in Kontrol System 2, but I imagine this is the same thing. Okay, so wait until, so I need a function that returns a boolean. So here I just have to write that function like this. Okay, no need of parameter, and the boolean is that my velocity must be greater than a number. Okay, so for the velocity I have to look at the KSP vessel here, and from vessel I need the type vessel. Okay, and here I have vertical surface speed. Okay, vertical speed, or you have the surface velocity. Okay, so let me try vertical surface speed. So here, so ship vertical surface speed, I think it was like this, yeah. Okay, so vertical surface speed, and I want that number to be greater than 50. I tried my script with that ship, and 50 was a good number. Of course, that number can change. It can change. It changes in function of your ship. And for this, for example, you can add here a parameter. Okay, so for example, pitch velocity. This is a float. Okay, and we can say that float is equal to 50.0. Okay, so this is the default value of pitch velocity. Okay, and then you can change that inside your script. And if I go here and I reboot, I have an error that unable to look up type vessel. And why that? Yes, the problem is here, because here I use a craft of type of vessel. So inside my pre-launch, I have to use a vessel here. Of course, don't have to forget that. And also console here, and also the sleep function of KSP game. Okay, because I'm using a vessel type, I'm using the console here, and I'm using the sleep function. Okay, great. So now if I reboot, no error. And you see here there is a parameter, and this is the pitch velocity, and the value, the default value is 50, and I can change that if I want. Okay, so if you have some optional parameters, you will have a number here. Okay. So I wait until my vertical speed is greater than that pitch velocity, and then I can write on the console starting GT. Okay, I can even clear the console. Okay, and now I have to lock my steering. Okay, for that I didn't find the same function as in KOS, and I think it's normal because this is two different systems, so I can't expect Kontrol System 2 to work exactly as KOS. So for now we're using the SAS. I don't like that idea because for now, because this is early access of KSP, all my probes have the SAS, but in some points, you know that in carrier mode, for example, you don't have SAS in all your probes. So I don't like to use that, but for now, I'm going to use that. So there is a function that is autopilot, and you can enable that. And this is equal to true. This is a boolean. Okay. So that means that the SAS is on. All right. And then you have ship autopilot mode, and this is equal to autopilot mode dot autopilot. It wasn't easy to find that. So if you look at this, the autopilot is here, and this is type KSP vessel autopilot. Okay, and then you have some fields. You can enable the autopilot. You can have a global log direction. You have a log direction, a target orientation, and with the autopilot mode, vessel autopilot mode. So this is the SAS, and you can lock that autopilot to anti-normal, anti-target, autopilot maneuver, etc., etc. So for now, it's an autopilot. Okay. And for this, I need here in my KSP vessel, I have to add the autopilot mode. All right. So now how do I lock my heading? For this, I have to use ship autopilot. Okay, and I want to target an orientation. All right, and if you target an orientation, the type of target orientation is a vector. Vector 3, that means a vector in space and not in the plane. And for that vectors, you have the magnitude, you can normalize the vector, and you can calculate the angle between two vectors, you can calculate the cross product, you can calculate the dot product, etc. Okay, so the most important here is that I need to put a vector after that. So I have ship, and then I want to put my heading here. So for that, in vessel, if I go back here in vessel, you have access in the methods, so in the function, you have access to heading direction. And heading direction, you see here, degrees from north, pitch above horizon, and the roll. And that function returns a math direction. This is not a vector, this is a direction. Okay, so here, ship, I can write heading direction. So the angle from north is 90 degrees. Okay, because I want to go east, so 90 degrees from north. The pitch will be 85, okay, and the roll is 0. And then, because this is a direction and I want, I don't want a direction, but I want a vector, I just have to add a vector. Okay, and this is okay. And that pitch depends on your vessel too, it depends on your TWR, so I like to have that pitch angle as a parameter here. Okay, so let me add here pitch angle, so it's a float, and it's equal to 85.0. I can use the type int instead of float, but I prefer to keep float because sometimes maybe I will have the 88.6, I don't know. So better to be safe. Okay, and here it's the same. This is the orientation from north. Sometimes if I want to go to Minmus, that orientation from north is not 90 degrees. So maybe I should add here from north, and this is a float too, and the default value is 90. Okay, from north. Okay, and the roll, I keep it at 0 because I like to build my rockets such as they are pointing east already, because you see here the east is down my nav ball, because inside the VAB I have rotated my rocket to be facing the east direction here. All right, let me see, I save my script. Okay, let's try reboot. Okay, no errors here. This is a very useful to have that reboot button, because I can click on reboot each time I add some lines at my script. I can check if this is okay, so I can reboot, and there is no errors. That doesn't mean that my script will do exactly what I want it to do, but that means that my script doesn't have error, and this is very important. And now I have 3 parameters and 3 default values, so the pitch angle, the pitch velocity, and the from north angle. Okay, right, and then I have to wait until my angle between the facing vector of my ship and the heading. Okay, so that heading direction, it's less than 1. For that, I have to use again a wait until function. Okay, this is a function, and the results of that function is a boolean. Okay, it's a true or false, and I want to look at my ship facing vector. All right, so if I take a look at here the documentation, you have here facing. Okay, so facing gives you the current facing direction of your vessel. Okay, and this is a direction, but I want a vector, so I add facing vector, and I want the angle of that. So let me check the vector here. You have fields and you have methods. This is angle 2, so you have to write your vector and then dot angle 2, and inside some brackets you have the other vector to write. So here I have to use the method angle 2. This is like this, and inside my brackets I write the other vector, and this is that vector. Okay, so I'm waiting for that angle to be less than 1, right? Up this bit. Okay, and then I want to wait that the angle between the facing vector and the prograde vector is less than 1, 2. If you want to understand why I'm doing this, you can watch at one of my episodes about KOS. I explain why I'm using that, and I put the link at the description, and you shall see the link up here. And because when you do a gravity turn, the most efficient gravity turn is when you follow the prograde direction. This is the most efficient way to do that. Okay. The problem here is I didn't find any prograde vector from the surface prograde. In orbit, I have the prograde vector of an orbit, but I don't have the prograde vector from the surface. So I had to change a little, but I know because I'm used to it in KOS. I know that the prograde vector is the same has the same direction that the velocity. So instead of looking at the angle between the facing vector and the prograde vector, I can look at the facing vector and the surface velocity vector. So I can have a surface velocity here and vector. This is already a vector. Let me see that. It's a ship surface velocity, and is this already a vector? Surface velocity is already a vector. Okay. Right, so I don't need to add vector here because surface velocity already is a vector. And I want that angle to be less than 1. Okay. So this is okay. And from now, I want to follow the prograde vector. Okay. So to follow the prograde vector, I need to use the SAS. Like I said, I don't like that idea for now, but I can do. I didn't find how to do without the autopilot for now. So autopilot mode, and now I want to use the prograde. Okay, so this is not a function anymore. All right. Okay, because for the autopilot here, autopilot SAS mode is here. You have autopilot mode dot, and that toString is the fields here. Okay, your autopilot constants is what you write instead of that toString. So you have the prograde vector here, align the vessel to the prograde vector of its orbit. And because this is the SAS, the prograde vector it will be the surface prograde vector. Okay, until the 36 kilometers, and after 36 kilometers, it automatically changed to the orbit prograde vector. Okay, this is it. And now I just have to wait until my apoapsis is less than 100,000 kilometers, and then I need to trigger staging. For that, I'm going to do the exact same method I use in KOS. That means that I want to let all thrusts to be equal to my actual thrust of my ship. And for that, again, you go to your vessel, you have access to delta V here, vessel delta V. And for that, you have access different things. You have access to stages, and this is an array. This is an array. This is a table. So you can write ship delta v stages, and I want the first stages, so 0, and it will be always the first staging, because if I activate a new stage, that new stage will become the first stage of my craft. So I can always write that, and from that I have access to you see vessel delta v. So I click on it. You have some fields, start mass, etc. We use that in the second episode of my series, and you can have access to delta v, ISP, and thrust. And this is what I want. I want to get thrust, and you need to put a situation here, a delta v situation. So back to vessel, you want to delta v situation. They are here, delta v situation, and for a delta v situation you have to add a string, and for that string this is altitude, sea level, or vacuum, and for now I want altitude. So I have to write delta v stages 0, get thrust, okay, and I want the thrust in a delta v situation, and that delta v situation is altitude. Okay, so this is the thrust of my ship at 1 altitude. Okay, so here I need to add a delta v situation. All right. Okay, and while my ship apoapsis, so the apoapsis is from an orbit, so ship orbit apoapsis. Okay, and while that ship orbit apoapsis is less than 100 kilometers, I do that. Okay, so if I look at my ship again, back to vessel, here I have orbit. Okay, orbit is from KSP orbit, so I have to write here directly before I forget, use orbit with an uppercase O from KSP orbit. Okay, because you see here you have orbit with a lowercase and here with uppercase. So if I click on that, I have different fields, and I have apoapsis, and apoapsis is an option float. I don't really understand what option here is, but I think it's because apoapsis may not exist, and if your apoapsis doesn't exist, so you don't have any float. Okay, but if your apoapsis exists, then the function returns a float number. All right, and this is, I think, if I understood well, this is the meaning of that option. So, and when you have option, you have to write here ship orbit apoapsis value. And I think normally you have to check, before doing that, you have to check if apoapsis exists or not. But here I'm sure that my apoapsis exists, so I can write here that value. Okay, so while my apoapsis is less than 100 kilometers, I want automatic stages. So I want, if my delta v stages get thrust, if my thrust is less than my old thrust, and say negative 10, that means that I'm losing thrust, and the only way to lose thrust is when one of my engine has flame out. That means that it doesn't have more fuel. So if that happens, right, I have to stage. Okay, and for that I just have to write wait until okay, a function that returns a boolean, and that boolean is ship staging and ready. Okay, so I wait until my stage is ready to be activated, and when it is, I have to ship staging and next. Okay, and when this is down, when this is down, I have to change my all thrust variable. The let is to create a new variable because that variable already exists. I don't have to write let. Okay, so this is my new thrust, and then I write a yield because I think this is a way to let Unity to do other calculations for the game KSP. So I let the game do its job. And at the end of that loop, that means that when the apoapsis is greater than 100 kilometers, I can set my throttle to 0 and my gravity turn is over. So let me check if there is no problem. There is a problem, of course, because there's always problem. Expected here, bracket. So this is, I don't like that error message because I don't know where is it. You see, I should have checked my script each time I added a new line. So let me do that. So I comment that. No error. Okay. Okay. Here I need to write ship heading direction. I certainly will write a function for that because it is too complicated to write all of this. Maybe I will write a sort of log steering thing like that. Reboot. No errors. Okay. Now we can expect that all of the script works well. Right, reboot, no. I was too optimist. So let's, okay. The condition after if must be into brackets here. And I prefer to write this into brackets too. Okay, that was my error. I'm most certain of it. Right. Yes, function yield not found. This is normal because I have to write from here up a yield. Here we go. Okay, so let's go console. I have to up 4, 3, 2 ignition and lift off. Okay, we are waiting for the surface velocity to be equal to 50 and I'm crossing my fingers, all of them. Yes, this is working. This is working. Okay, and now I'm following the program. Okay, and for now I'm I'm relaxed because as soon as my ship is following the program, I know this is working. Just the staging, I hope the stage will be activated automatically. So we just have to look at this with that beautiful sun. And I noticed here that this is not as precise that with KOS. With KOS you keep your line very straight from 90 degrees from north. And here I'm not exactly at 90 degrees. That means that at the end of my orbit, I need to change maybe my orientation of my orbit. I don't need this anymore. Just have to keep the console, and the console won't write anything else. Let's see at that world. This is a very beautiful world. Okay, Valentina is quite happy to be here, and yes, automatic staging. Whew. This is so great. KSC down below. Okay. This is a very great. This gravity turn is great. Maybe I could be a little more aggressive of that gravity turn. I'm waiting for the 36 kilometers here. When my ship is at 36 kilometers, we change here from prograde, from surface prograde to the orbit prograde. Up, here we go. So now we are in orbit. No, we are not in orbit, but now this is the orbit velocity that matters. I have delta V, enough delta V to circularize my craft, and there is no problem. I can circularize and I can go back to Kerbin after that. I have a little chute here. Okay, the apoapsis is 75 kilometers. We are waiting for 100 kilometers, and I think that is the end of that episode. We did a gravity turn with a Kontrol System 2. So in the next episode, I think I have to learn how to do some maneuver nodes and how to circularize my orbit. You know what? There is a problem because I wanted to stop my episode way too soon. What's the problem here? What did I forget? Ship throttle. What's the problem? Okay, that was definitely a problem. So now I don't have any more fuel, but okay. So I have a script to debug for now. Alright, this was a very silly mistake. I just have to add a yield here just between the while loop and the set throttle 0, and I added a yield here too to be sure, and that works. This was the problem here. Just that. Okay, so this is now the end of the episode. We are going to reach the 100 kilometers here. I hope you enjoyed that. When you are doing some programmation, you always find errors. You see that there was no error for Kontrol System, but there is some little tricky things to think when you do some programmation. So this is the end of the episode. In the next episode, I will certainly circulate that orbit here from my apoapsis. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.